ASMR swallowing and drinking. That's Mountain Man ASMR.
Oh, jeez. Okay, that's definitely a Colorado thing because nobody else will know. No one else will know.
because I know where this is going and you need to stop it.
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh, no, not that. I'm doing Sheldon in the theater. Yeah, I think this is perfect right here. Acoustic. Wait. There it is. Okay. And we're back, everybody.
Hello. Hi.
Alice is back.
Yay. Yay.
So yeah, this episode's a little late because of technical difficulties and stuff, and I was having some memory issues with the computer and the cameras and the software that I'm using. Didn't like it, so it stopped, like haltingly stopped, and corrupted all kinds of video and everything. Anyway, I'm okay. Chuck.
I'm Kris. Alice.
And tonight we're going to be doing the debriefing on Alice's Greece trip.
Yay.
Greece trip.
Tripping over Greece, tripping in.
So trip it up and down.
I didn't trip. Actually, I did trip in Greece.
You did? Oh, okay. But Adventures by Disney.
Yes.
Yay.
So worth it.
Legends of Greece.
Yes. So worth it.
Did I get the name right again? Okay, I got the name right. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what's going to be happening tonight. And it's going to be all Alice. And I'm going to basically just push buttons and do all kinds of things and maybe play with camera angles a little and, have some fun with it, maybe. And let Kris and Alice do their NPR interview or NPR style interview. And I'll just play engineer and occasionally pop in and do sad things because, yeah, it's sad. No, it's not. Anyway,
no.
So,
like for who?
the computer if it freezes again.
Okay. Anyway, Alice.
Yes.
Take it away.
Well, so in honor of you loving a top 10.
Yes.
Yay.
Thank you.
I did my top 10s for each of the places that I went.
Okay.
And then I kind of threw in there some of my surprises, things I didn't expect.
Okay.
But
cool.
I figured you love yourself a top 10. So
I did. It's a format I like. I mean, because everybody gets to participate. And you get to know a little bit about the person.
Yeah.
So anyway, go ahead.
So first things first, traveling there, I have learned that for me personally, international travel, if I fly east, is a lot easier than flying west. So traveling there, it made it a lot easier too because we did an overnight flight, so we were able to sleep ish on the plane as much as you can. I am definitely a flyer who does not recline my seat in proportion to who's sitting behind me. And I had a 6'7" man sitting behind me, and there was no way I was going to do that to him. I was not going to do that. So I actually had my seat up the whole 12-ish hours. I did get to some sleep. It wasn't the best sleep, but I did sleep and I did get some rest.
Good.
Did you get the bulkhead at all? I mean,
no, we actually were, Todd kids, we fly in the back of the plane.
Of course. But were you up against the... No.
Interesting how this row was set up is like we were a seat of two, but there was no window seat.
Oh.
So I wasn't able to lean my head against the fuselage. The guy 6'7" guy though had room to put his 6'7" legs and his flip flops next to me, which was great. pro tip, please don't fly in flip-flops. That's just as gross as taking your shoes off.
It is.
Like, sorry, it's kind of just
We don't want to see.
we don't want to see that. I don't need that in my
don't.
life.
So it's you and Molly and the Grippers.
I don't like toe socks either. I
Okay,
don't think
I got
like
you.
toe shoes, those
I
are
got you.
nasty as well.
I got you. Yeah.
So anyway, that was, I've learned that internationally. I can fly east better than I can fly west.
I think most people find it that way.
Yeah, and flying into Athens is very exciting. It's very, very thrilling. Y'all think flying over the Rocky Mountains? I've trained for this my whole life.
Right.
Let me just put it that way.
Yeah.
I have
Landing
trained,
at DIA is plenty of an adventure on its
flying
own.
over the Rockies back and forth. I
was
have
gonna say.
trained for this my entire existence, and boy, if I wasn't awake by the time we got there, I was really awake when we did our first. It was very, because it was very windy. It was an extra windy day, but it's always like that because it's windy because of the sea breeze and stuff.
Yeah.
There's a lot of turbulence, friends. It's crazy. The fact that I'm commenting on it means that there's a lot of turbulence. That guy up there. So anyway, that was very, very, very exciting. If you watch my video, you'll could hear woo. There's moments. It was like, okay, we're there now. Other thing that I thought was fun, flying into Greece, you do the east coast of Italy. So I got to see the boot.
Mm-hmm.
So it does look like it's not just made
on
up
a map.
on a map. Like, it really looks like that. So that was cool. So landing into Athens, that's where we started. So my top 10 of Athens, I already went through the itinerary and my preview. And we held to the itinerary pretty tightly. There was not a lot of extras. So do you want me to go 1 to 10 or 10 to 1?
That's up to you. That's up to you. I mean, what's your calibration on the scale?
Part of my favorites were the top.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the number one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Let's do a countdown then.
Okay, so at number 10, and it kind of started because I was hungry. Whipped feta and phyllo dough fried with honey over it.
Yeah.
Yay. That was really good. I am a big fan of whipped feta now.
And that's new. Even when I was there, I didn't experience it. Or if I did, I thought it was yogurt.
It's amazing. It is life-changing.
Okay. All right.
It is life-changing.
Okay.
So whipped feta, drizzled, put in phyllo, fried and pan-fried, not deep-fried, pan-fried to get it crispy, and then you drizzle it with honey. It's very good.
Okay.
Yum.
Number 9, I really enjoyed the Olympic Museum at the Olympic Stadium. That was a really cool museum. They have all of the torches from the Summer Olympics in residence and display.
Cool.
I thought that was really cool. And then they also have the cauldron that is used to light the flame for the Olympics, every Olympics. And then they also have the little vessel on display that goes and collects the flame, brings it to Athens, and then puts in the cauldron.
Okay.
And then it goes from there. So that was really cool to see all of those things. And then last but not least, what I thought was really cool was they have one of the dresses that the ladies, the temple, I don't even call them priestesses, but they wear, and they look like iconic columns.
Oh.
And the way that is designed and printed, it's a cool dress. And they had one of those on display too.
Oh, neat.
So I thought that was really
Yeah.
neat. I didn't have that as an expectation, and that was actually my favorite part of the Olympic Stadium that we went to. We went to the first modern Olympic Stadium, so that was neat.
I bet. Yeah.
All right, so number 8, we did run into a changing of the guard.
Nice.
And we got to
I'm
see
glad
that.
you got to see that.
That was cool. I didn't expect to see that. There's a lot of, there's I think their number of spikes on the bottom of their shoe. I think it was like 770 or something like that.
Wow.
And they used their shoe. Oh, it was 10 spikes, 7 pounds. Each shoe weighs 7 pounds.
Okay.
So that was really interesting, that whole ceremony and pageantry. And it was blazes hot. There's no breeze. There's no shade.
Imagine them in their 80
And
pounds
they're,
of clothing.
and they're just standing there sweating. So that was impressive. So I thought that was cool. Right next door is number 7, which is their little city park. That was a really cool oasis in the middle of all of that marble.
Yes.
And
I had that same experience.
it was really cool. That was nice to walk in. A lot of people were hanging out. It was a great place to get a beverage, sit and look at, they had a little duck pond and some domestic farm animals on display. So you get to see a little bit of that. So it's kind of fun that way. But that was kind of a nice little walk over, cool off a little bit with some nature, sit in a park, hang out, listen to the birds. But I thought that was neat as well.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Number 6. This fascinated me because when I think of, I'm very American. And so our sidewalks are made out of concrete.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Their sidewalks are made out of marble. Everything is made out of marble. And we, as in me, is very conditioned to think that marble is like expensive and this really high-end
Well, here it
piece.
is. Yeah.
And there it's just rocks. Every rocks on the ground or marble,
Because you got to your front yard, kick up some dirt, and there's a marble.
A marble there.
Yeah.
So you see something that in my world is high end and expensive, and you're walking on it.
Yeah.
It's very slick, even if it's dry out there.
Gonna say,
it is slippery. So you have to be very mindful of where you put your feet and how you walk around there. That was something that we all had to be very careful of. I mean, you could slip and fall if you were running.
Oh yeah.
Or moving too quickly. It was
in particular the places that have been trod upon for thousands of
years.
Yeah.
And
worn smooth.
And they're not ADA regulated stairs.
Oh no.
They're tiny.
They're grandfathered in. They're probably great. My
ginormous foot did not fit on those rungs.
Yeah.
So that was very interesting. It was just interesting to see how everything was made out of marble and how just commonplace it was.
Yeah.
So that was a takeaway. Number 5, this is one of my favorites. There are olive trees everywhere.
Nice.
Athena, one of Athena's symbols is olive trees, and because Athena is the goddess of Athens, there are olive groves everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't pick up on that when I was there.
Yes.
But, okay.
All of it. All of the mountainsides are olive trees. Those trees in the city park, the trees outside of the Acropolis, everything is an olive tree. So that was cool. And I like olive trees. I think that they're really kind of unique. I'm not allergic to them, so that's why one of the reasons I like them.
There you go.
So yay me. So that was cool. And neat to see that. And then you learn about some of the other types of trees. They have gymnosperms there, and you learned the difference between the males and the females and how you have to have a male and a female tree next to each other in order to get more trees, but how they've purposefully planted them that way. And it wasn't done by happenstance. So that was kind of cool. Number 4 was Mars Hill, or the Areopagus. That was really very poignant and meaningful to me. I thought that was neat to be in that space. For those of you who don't know, Mars Hill and the Areopagus, one and the same. It's where, from a church kid perspective, it's where Paul preached the message to the Greeks about the unknown God. So in the Parthenon, they had all of the gods represented, and then they had this one place that was to the unknown God that they went ahead and worshipped. And Paul was like, yo, I got him. And he preached the message, and it was neat to see on the placard but it's just literally a rock. It's a rock that sits there. It's a boulder. You go bouldering.
Well, yeah.
And they have in Greek, they have the passage from Acts of that sermon.
So it's Acts 17:22 through 34.
All of it there. Yeah. It's there. And it's
sorry, church kid.
It's in Greek, so I couldn't read it, but I knew it. But I got to go to the top there and see it and stand in that space, and it was kind of very meaningful to me and really cool to be in that same space.
Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt, but again, the fact that you were in a space with that much history, with that many people
Yeah.
from history who
Well-
had
Mhm.
been there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, and Socrates taught at the Parthenon. He was there, like all of, all of that. It was just, the magnitude
It's
of
overwhelming,
who-
isn't it?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
who was there before you,
Mm-hmm.
and how long these things had been there and
Mhm.
how
Yeah.
they're going under restoration. If you watch my video, you see a lot of scaffolding and you see a
Sure.
lot of things.
That was something I noticed in the
But-
editing. Yeah.
Also, they're still there.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All that stuff is still there.
And it's really great
And
that
it's
the country is
Yeah.
doing everything it can to preserve them.
fun fact, Greece has more UNESCO sites than any other European country.
Wow.
Imagine that.
Just
I mean,
we learned
yes,
that.
but Italy has a lot too.
Yeah, they
so I
have
was
more than
thinking,
Italy.
Well,
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Greece
All
has
right.
Greece has the most. All right, so that was cool to be there. And all the last ones that I have all have to do with the Acropolis and all that space. So one of the things we did is we stood on the steps as you enter up into the Parthenon, and you turn around and you look back towards the sea, and you get to see the theater that was there. But also straight in the distance is this green plateau, and that is where democracy started.
Cool.
It's the democracy plateau, and watching and how all that works and how they would bring their all of the representatives would meet on that plateau and they'd talk about rules and laws and things they'd want to enact, and had everybody had an equal say. And it was, all of this feels very poignant,
Mhm.
and this great experiment of democracy that we know it as today because of what John Adams did in looking at that model and then
Right.
refining it and bringing into the United States and taking that as a basis of equal representation and making sure that everybody had a voice and that it wasn't a theocracy or a royalty, like it
Right.
and it
Right.
wasn't done based on how much you owned.
Right.
It was based on everybody got a say and everybody got a purpose.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Right.
that was, just turn around and look out there and see that plateau and be like, okay, that's
where
where
it
it
all
is.
started.
That's where he's got that, that's where it all started. And that's where also Socrates did a lot of his teachings is
Mhm.
on that same plateau. It was just really cool. And then you look over to, as you're looking to down this plateau, over to your right is Hephaestus's temple.
Mm.
And you
Oh,
get to see that.
man.
If I had any regrets, I wish I would have walked up to Hephaestus's temple. It was just a few yards away, or probably about a mile away from our hotel, which is not
Mhm.
that big of a deal. It's not a big a walk. But it would have been done in the afternoon, and we had already done a lot of walking, and it was nice to
Yeah.
just
Very
have the
hot
rest.
heat of the day.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah.
But I would that would be cool to go back and see. So that had some just kind of relevance to seeing all of
Yeah.
that
Oh, yeah.
and where all of that started.
I mean, you almost, when you're standing there looking at all of that history,
Mhm.
you just almost burst into tears
It
because
is.
it's so
It's-
overwhelming.
It's overwhelming and it's very moving, and it's all like, these ideas
Mhm.
started thousands of years before our country even
was a thought.
was a thought.
Yeah.
Right.
And that John Adams had the knowledge and the foresight to understand history and government and the structure of government in a way to look at extending and moving this experiment forward
Yeah.
of what democracy could be as a big whole, because it's not perfect, and we all know that. And even in Greece it wasn't perfect because they wanted equal representation, but we all know the history that the rich had a bigger say than the poor.
Right.
Mhm.
There was a class system. There's
Of course,
always
yeah.
been a class system. Even the Romans kept the class system going, even though they had the Senate and everything. It was not an equal representation. And even if you lived in Greece and Italy, you weren't necessarily a citizen of those places
Right.
because you didn't
Yeah.
own property.
Yeah.
And
Well,
if you didn't own
and-
property, then you didn't have a vote. And it's like,
Well, and now you understand where the word Patreon comes from.
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah, I'll give you money, you
You
can
know?
say things.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
the whole thing. So,
Exactly.
it's not a perfect thing, but to see it where
Yeah.
it started was
Yeah.
really
Yeah, and
poignant.
I also think that that's a testament to the importance of the ancients and classics in education.
Always.
And this is why it boggles my mind to this day that we have lost teaching in depth about ancient Greece and ancient Rome and the civics within all that.
Letting I'm never going to use this, take root.
Right.
Because we're seeing, well, I don't want to go there.
Right,
but you will use it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Contrary to what you think when you're 10, 11, 12, even 18, 16.
Right.
Contrary to what you think then, you will use it. You will use the math. You will use the history. You will use how to write a complete sentence.
Mm-hmm.
You will use constructive and critical thinking.
Exactly.
Right.
Like there are things that you will use, and you need to know how to use it so you do it well and do it ethically and are not flippant about it.
Well, and even more so, I want to touch on I'm never going to use this kind of thing, like with geometry. You were in the land where geometry was essentially invented.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay. You were there where geometry was born.
Yeah.
Okay. And as a drafter, geometry is very important to me.
Yeah.
As a wannabe cartoonist and artist.
Shapes matter.
Yeah.
And there's
geometry is
math.
very important to me.
Gonna contradict you.
About?
Geometry, I feel like, got its beginnings in Egypt.
I'll agree.
Okay.
I will agree there.
Because when the Tut exhibit came through, I mean, we've seen the pyramids, there's
Right.
geometry there, but just the tools that they had invented to build those pyramids.
Yep.
And many other
The
structures.
water level for surveying.
Exactly.
Yeah. And the plumb line.
And just the compass and the protractor and all of those things
Okay.
came out of Egypt.
Yeah, and were traded up into Greece.
Well, yes,
and,
of course,
yeah,
but
and off they went. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. Nerd
That's
out.
okay. So anyway, on to number 2. I thought Poseidon's temple was really cool. It was an excruciatingly windy day. It was so we were going to get blown off the top of that hill. It was so...
The videos tell the story.
It's so windy, and there was nothing I could do about it. There was absolutely nothing I could do about it.
No.
It was
I
just
tried.
there's nothing you could do about it.
I pulled every little trick I could out with the noise reduction, and
Yeah, there's nothing you could do about it. It was that windy. It was that... it was a lot. But it was cool to be there and to see, how it just is perched on top of Cape Sunion and out into the water, and that water is that Aegean blue, and just it's cool. It's beautiful and amazing, and I enjoyed Poseidon's temple a lot. Number 1,
Yeah.
one of the things I really wanted to see in person was the Parthenon. Be on the Acropolis, be in that space, walk the path.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
Mhm.
It's viewed from our hotel. We could see it at night. It lights up. It's
Isn't it beautiful at night? Oh,
so beautiful
Yeah,
at night.
yeah.
8:00, they take down the flag every night. It's just all of that ceremony.
mhm.
It is a stunningly beautiful place, and it's really cool. Also up there, so this is kind of fun. So the Parthenon is where all of the gods were worshipped. There's also Athena's temple up there.
Mhm.
So because she is the goddess of Athens, and there was according to the mythology, there was a election, if you will,
okay.
of which was going to be the god of that city.
Hmm.
Oh,
And it was between Poseidon and Athena.
so they had a polling.
So they had, we'll gift the people, and the people will pick who they want. So, Athena gave the olive trees. That's why the olive trees are everywhere. And the olive trees provided commerce and wood and useful things. And Poseidon gave salt water.
Really?
That's the mythology.
Okay.
And the salt water does you no good.
In
You
fact,
can't
can do
drink
some
it.
harm,
You can't
right?
grow
Hmm.
crops with it. So he lost. And that's why Athena is the goddess of Athens.
Release the Kraken.
Brother, it is time for the mortals to pay. My child waits to do your will. Release the Kraken!
So, and then of course he gets his temple on Cape Sunyan, and he's, you know, the protector of things, and so that's the mythology. All right, so that's my top 10 of Athens. What I was surprised by, I will never drive in that city. I will never drive in Greece. Their rules are just suggestions. Rules of the road are just suggestions. There's no, like, it's
Welcome to the Mediterranean.
terrifying, and I was so
And the
glad.
horn's connected to the brake.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I just was like, that was, I will be driven at all times if I go to Greece.
Well, and now, according to my friend that lives there, the taxis are required to turn off their engines because they would just sit and idle, and the exhaust was terrible.
Yeah, they've done a lot with pollution.
They
and
have.
pollution mitigation there, so it's noticeable. Thus the reason for a lot of the trees that they planted, especially for the Olympics. They did that for the Olympics.
The Olympics, from what I understand, cleaned up a lot.
And so all the trees that they planted helped with the carbon dioxide, and so that made a huge difference. So there's that.
Yeah.
The other thing that was not what I expected was how crowded it was. It's
you were there during holiday season too.
I was, but when 90% of the population of Greece lives in or around Athens,
That's true. Yeah.
and it's not a big. I mean, it's not a big city, relatively speaking.
Right.
There's a lot of human flesh in one small place.
There really is. Yeah.
It was just a lot more crowded than I thought. Than I had anticipated. Suburbs don't exist. It just keeps spreading, and it's still just Athens. There's just,
okay. Yeah.
you know, so that was something I didn't expect. I also didn't expect all of the shops and everything to be open 24 hours.
That surprises me.
That
I don't
was an
remember
interesting thing. So you know, there was a lot of activity all the time. Our room was quiet, and we were able to sleep, but that was interesting. All right, so that's Athens. We moved on to Santorini, and we flew into Santorini, and again, I was trained my whole life to fly into these places because turbulence is not turbulence is my friend. I like it.
Yeah. Well, and sounds like it came with the territory.
Windy. So we actually didn't have as much wind. It was actually a very calm flying day the day we flew into Santorini.
Okay.
So yay, but anyway. All right, so top 10. Our hotel sat on top of a hill, and Santorini is known for the donkeys taking you up and down hills, and the paddock for the donkeys was kind of down the hill from across the street and down the hill from our hotel. So the donkeys would walk home every day.
Aw.
I didn't get to see it, but you knew they were there. Their presence was known. And so that was kind of fun to know that the donkeys that did all the stuff for the cruise tourists lived by us. So that was pretty cool. The photo opportunities in Santorini are insane.
Yeah.
The sunsets are striking.
Mm-hmm.
So we got, our token sunset photos. We got the token blue building photos and the white buildings. So that was, there's some really kind of stunningly beautiful architecture that you can take a really great photo in.
So what are the blue roofs made out of?
They are that azurite is what I understand that we talked about. I know that was a big question. So it's azurite. But the white buildings are there because there's no shade. That was one of my things I didn't expect. And the white buildings are painted white to reflect the heat off. So the heat goes out. And if you're outside, you're getting all of that. And it is hot. And there's no trees. There's no shade. There's no trees in Santorini.
Albedo effect is a thing.
It was hot all the time. So, but really cool photos and stuff. Shopping was really kind of convenient there too, because it's all really in one place. So if you're in OI or you're in Fira, both of those two little towns, the shopping is just right there. So you didn't have to hunt for anything. I thought that was kind of cool. That was really convenient, and it made it easy to get things and find things. My other favorite, we're on number 7 now for Crete, or Santorini, was the ferry to Crete. We actually took, and I know that sounds funny to include that, but actually it was actually one of my favorite ways that we traveled was on the water. And we did that more in Santorini than we did any other place.
Cool.
So it was a high-speed ferry, and it took us exactly 55 minutes to go from Santorini to Crete on that high-speed ferry.
Nice.
So, and it did not, I mean, we were out. It was, we were gone, and it was high-speed pretty immediately.
So very much unlike the ferries on the OBX.
Yeah, no, this was fast. Yeah. So that was fun to be on, and I enjoyed that a lot. One of my kind of favorite meals that we had, when we landed in Santorini, we immediately went to a winery for a winery tour, and we had a really yummy lunch, and it was kind of buffet, but we had just the food was really, really tasty, and it probably had to do with I was starving. But it was really unique and really good, and
I was going to say it's fresh.
It was fresh. It was good.
Yeah.
And then another thing we did on Santorini was we went to Akrotiri, which is the Greece version of Pompeii. It is an ancient town that was covered, destroyed, wiped out by a volcano eruption, because Santorini is a volcano. It's a dormant volcano. But interesting things here is that the people of Akrotiri paid attention to the signs that were being given about the volcano, and they all took off. There is not one human remain that they've found in the uncovering of that space. That
speaks a lot to the culture of that area.
Yeah,
that they pay attention.
You hear about Pompeii is known because of all of the people that are buried there. They do believe that the Akrotirians were from Crete, because you can stand on the kind of the ledge and look out, and you can see the island of Crete. Cool. So they think it's Cretians who were settling at the end of Santorini and Akrotiri. But when they heard the rumblings, they all took off back to Crete.
Well, the ground's shaking occasionally, and then you start to
the steam and
smell more.
So they all took off, and it's very well preserved. Fun things that we learned about that is that they're the first indoor plumbing and indoor toilets were thought to be found here in Akrotiri.
Okay.
Wonderful.
And we saw there was a house that we looked at, and they're like, okay, here's the bathroom, and that's kind of, so even modern technology or understanding how that could be incorporated and not necessarily have to be, and keep it sanitary and keep it clean.
Exactly.
They were doing all the way back, and it was about the same time as Pompeii.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's
old.
So I wonder if that was
connected. They all are
well,
connected.
I know it's connected, but I wonder if there was an actual chain reaction that went through.
Oh, yeah.
That when that erupted, that was an indicator for Etna, Vesuvius, and then Herculaneum.
It's all that, the whole Ring of Fire are thought about too. When one in the Ring of Fire starts, they all just go.
Yeah, because the shifting starts to happen, so the magma bloops up, and there it is. Yeah.
So anyway, that was kind of cool, and I wasn't necessarily that wasn't going to tops on my list to go to, but when I was in there, it was like, okay, that's cool.
Okay.
That was neat to see. Number 4, donkeys and cats living together. It's so hilarious because the donkey is such an integral part of Greek culture, especially island life. They're hardy. They're amazing. They are great guard animals. They take care of their people. They love their people. They work hard, but they also, if they don't want to work hard, they don't.
They also have a mind of their own.
But then, there's cats everywhere, and you see the cats hanging out with the donkeys, and they're just like chilling. They're buddies, Yeah. So that was kind of fun to see all of that and the feral cats that are there. So,
that
they're
would,
all over the place.
That would make me eternally happy.
It was cool. Number 3 on my list was actually seeing in real life the white buildings and the blue with the blue
Oh,
roofs. That
for
was
sure.
cool. The blue roofs are indicators of churches, and only the churches have blue roofs. If it's a non-church building, it has a white roof. There are some churches that do have white roofs, but if it is a church, they can have the blue roofs.
Very
Okay.
cool.
All right.
Very
And
cool.
then there's also all these miniatures. They look like mailboxes, but they're not. They're actually miniature versions of the church with the blue roofs that the priests will put things in for the poor.
Oh.
So
Oh,
bread,
okay. Yeah.
wine, food, money. They are little
Donation boxes.
donation boxes. So
Yeah.
poor boxes. So I thought
Yeah.
that was cool. And they align all the roads and everything. So that's kind of cool to see. All right. So number 2 on the fun things in Santorini. Shockingly, I thought the volcano hike was pretty cool.
I'm shocked.
I know you're surprised. Because I got pushed. I don't do well with sharp, open edges, and it was straight up. But it felt very normal. It was one of those I said in my natural element.
Yeah.
And they all, kind of laughed at that.
We don't have a lot of knife ridges here.
Getting up
but-
to the summit was a knife ridge. It was like on either side.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, we don't have a lot here in Colorado, but when we do have
It's-
them,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're intense.
frightening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this was
Yeah.
just jagged. It wasn't smooth rock. It was shale and grapple, and it was just,
Yeah.
it was
And
scary.
obsidian.
Yeah,
and
it was-
volcanic glass. Again, obsidian.
I didn't want to
yeah.
fall. So,
No.
so I did push my limits a little bit about how the trail was put together, but I summited. Are you ready?
Yes.
At 400 feet.
Do you have a sign?
No. So I made the joke. This is where I'm with all these East Coasters or these Flatlanders, and they didn't even get it. I made the joke. I was like, "Ooh, we summited. Where's my cardboard?"
Yeah.
And none of it. They were like, "What?"
Yeah,
none
they're
of them
looking
got
at
it.
you like, what?
None of them got
Huh?
it. None of them. I had to explain. I was like, in Colorado, when you summon a 14er, you have a piece of cardboard from your beer box that says, "I summited Mount whatever
That you
at
s-
14."
You
Scrawl on with the pin that you
either that or a burnt stick.
or
Yeah.
something. And so they didn't even get it. And the fact that I had to explain the dumb joke made it worse.
Yeah.
So
But even, like,
I just stopped talking. I was like, okay, y'all don't get it.
I've
I've
seen
lost the
people with
room.
those
Yeah.
signs like on Kilimanjaro and stuff.
Yeah, I
so it's
know.
not unheard
I know,
of.
I know.
Oh,
Well,
but-
it's not unheard of on actual mountains.
yeah, not
And
at
people
400
who-
feet.
People who go up and down mountains. I was with a lot
Yeah.
of people who didn't.
Yeah,
gonna say,
true.
The
Okay.
highest they go is the hill in their front yard.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was getting my picture taken by our guide, and he's like, "This suits you." I was like, "I'm in my natural habitat, like hiking up a mountain,
Mm-hmm.
Colorado kid." He's like,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, like,
High wind,
Yeah.
sheer cliffs.
yeah, I got
I'm
it.
home.
I
Right.
got it. It's
Yeah,
fine.
we're here.
We're fine." So anyway, I did like that because it was really cool. And then one of the things that our local guide made us do is she made us turn around and look out, and she's like, she's like, "I know this is a bucket list trip for a lot of you." And she's like, "I want you to just turn around and soak this in and understand and appreciate where you're at
Oh.
and what you're doing."
so
And that,
glad
I
she
mean, I
did
bawled
that.
like a baby. Like
of course.
it was a very moving, poignant time on top of that mountain
Sure.
to have that. So it was cool.
Yeah, to understand.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just to understand.
And how
Yeah.
old things are, like just where you were. So that was cool. I thought that was cool. And then my favorite thing we did in Santorini, it was one of my favorite things we did for the entire trip, is that we sailed and this is the same day as the hike. We sailed around the caldera in a boat, and then we got in the water and we played around the water, and
Oh man.
it was
so cool.
it was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And to be on the water on that blue Aegean colored
Mm.
water. It was so like that. I could have done that every day. And we did a lot of boat water things. And that was my favorite part. And it was just really cool.
Mm.
That was really
nice.
That was
Oh,
amazing.
man. Again,
That was amazing.
the amount of jealousy.
That was my favorite.
Yeah.
That was like I said, one of my all time favorite things that I did the whole 10 days. That was really cool. So the things about Santorini, again, like I said, it's very hot. No shade. And honestly, I don't have to go back. It's one of those places that I don't have to go
You've
back.
been there and you're done now.
I'm kind of, if I go back, awesome.
Right.
But I don't necessarily have to put that on my list of islands to go back to Greece to.
Well, it sounds like you were able to accomplish everything.
Yeah,
while you were there.
I was there. I mean, the Caldera was, and the sailboat was great, and we had the people that we were with, we bonded so well. So they were playing like soundtracks, and it just turned into this whole like, we were singing karaoke, and we were taking along, and just have this like kind of impromptu party on this boat, so genuinely and so naturally that it just made it such a fun time. So.
And you got these for me
I
in
did.
Santorini.
Yeah, those are made out of olive wood.
Nice.
And I got those at the winery. And those are they're worry beads.
These are some of my favorite things. Kris got me a set from Turkey when she was in Istanbul. And those are made out of frankincense, the pine tree that frankincense comes from. These are straight olive wood.
Yeah.
The string is a little bit more delicate than the one that I have from Kris, but
so are the beads, actually.
yeah, they're so light compared.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the way it was described to us, I actually made a set. One of our things I'm going to talk about when we were in Crete.
Yeah.
She called them the ancient fidgets.
Yeah.
So they're a fidget toy.
Exactly.
And that's what they do.
Exactly.
They call them
Oh.
worry beads, but it's what you do to kind of focus your
yes.
time, and you basically hold it. Chuck, give me your beads.
Oh, sure.
We were taught how to use them.
Hang on.
So
There you
it's
go.
an uneven number of beads. So this is your end. And if you get it like right in the middle, it's an uneven number of beads. You can see there's one more. So you take your 3 at the top and you fiddle with it. So the
And I'll
3
tell
at
you
the
what,
top holds on, and you just play with it.
everyone, all of the guys when I was in Istanbul would do that. And even in Turkey or in Greece, and constantly. But the ones that were made out of frankincense, so like there was just this constant aroma in the air because all of the men had them
play
and
it.
were fussing with them. And
So it's the 3 at the top that you put it around your finger.
okay.
And you hold on to it, and the bottom here weights it to give it the weight so you can fiddle faddle with it.
Right.
Cool.
So that's that.
Yeah, and honestly, they're hours of fun.
But that, yeah. So
I can't help it. I love these things.
yeah, for
I
sure.
love them,
when I found those, I was like, okay, I know, there they are. All right. We then left Santorini on the high-speed ferry and went to Crete, and this was actually my favorite stop. I loved Crete.
Okay.
I would like to go back to Crete. We spent most of our time, our hotel and our resort was on the northeast side of the island. The capital is on the southwest side of the island. So we were on opposite.
okay.
So we were an hour out of all of that. So Ericalina, I would love to go back to. That's the capital. Ericalina is the capital. Ericalina is where Knossos' castle is. It's a suburb. Era means next to. So it's next to Ericalina. Ericalina is actually Hercules.
Right on.
So there's that. All right, top 10 in Crete. I was in the water every afternoon.
Yay.
I was in the water.
Your goal.
That was it. And I was playing in the water every afternoon. We'd do our things in the morning. We'd get back to the resort. The resort was all inclusive. We had a private beach.
Oh, Lord.
Every
Say no
afternoon.
more.
Oh,
Right.
Lord.
I was there.
Yeah.
I was in the water every afternoon. So that was one of my favorite things. And that water was a little chilly, but
Not Pacific chili.
Pacific chili. It was 78.
Oh,
Oh, all right.
Okay.
then.
Not 80, but there you go. The nicest people in Crete. They are known for hospitality. They are known for being gracious. That is their culture. They take pride in it. And it was palpable. You could
really?
completely tell that when we left Crete, we knew we were gone out of Crete, and how, we were not an inconvenience to ask a question
Nice.
of people.
I
That
love
was,
it. I love
they
it.
were amazing. I loved Crete simply for that too. I learned about Name Day in Crete. Name Day is a national it's a holiday. We were there for one of the name days. We were there on August 15th, and that is the name day for Saint Mary. So anybody who has the name Maria married, that is their name day. and it's actually bigger and more important than their birthdays. They actually, that trumps their birthday.
Interesting.
So you get like presents and you give food and you have these big parties and it's such a big deal.
Wow.
And our local guide was Maria.
Oh.
And so it was her name day.
Okay.
So we got to celebrate her name day
Nice.
that day. And so it was really a lot of fun to be part of that very cultural thing. So if you're curious, it's also in a lot of like Catholic cultures and some Catholic spaces do this too. Very big in Greek culture. And she's like, well, if your name doesn't have a saint attached to it, that's where All Saints Day comes in.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
So that's their name day
All right.
is All Saints Day. So that's how they get the workaround. I made some very lovely donkey buddy friends. There are 3 of them there. I got my picture on top of one. But they are pretty amazing, and 2 of them were very standoffish, and of course, challenge accepted.
Yes.
In my space, and like everybody kept on walking over there and trying to get to pet them, and they were like, doing donkey things, and I just walked over and I was like, all right, guys, here we go, and I just let them choose, and I let them take the lead on stuff, but I had both of them leaning in, and we were head to head and scratching, and like and. One of the ladies looked over and she's like, oh my gosh. And I was like leaning in and we were scratching. She's like, how'd you do that? And I'm like,
I let them choose.
I let them choose. I let them figure it out. And so I was, we were best buds.
Alice is the donkey whisperer.
I just did my thing. And number 6 was making the beads.
Okay.
Closely with number 5. Making the tzatziki. Both of those things were made at the same space. So after we went to Knossos' castle, we went to another kind of resort where we had lunch, but that's where we also got a little more immersed in Cretan culture, but that's where we made tzatziki, and then we made the beads. So it was kind of our crafting day, and the tzatziki we made, we had for lunch.
Of
and
course.
then we went and crafted and made our beads for our souvenirs. So that was really cool.
I love it.
And it was just up the mountain again. We were up in a mountain. It was kind of fun again. Cats everywhere. They would come and hang out and do their thing, and some people loved them. I was like, fine, just sit there. And they were like, okay. Whole herd of sheep behind us. Goats everywhere. Actually, goats are more prevalent than sheep.
Yeah. Hardier, I would imagine.
They are, and everybody has this connotation of lamb. And did you eat a lot of lamb? No, I did not. I ate a lot of pig. Lamb is actually associated with Greek Americans because sheep was easier to get in the United States. So all of those dishes that we associate with lamb are in Greece actually pork.
Interesting.
And so I had a lot of roast pork. I had a lot of roast chicken. I had like 1 lamb dish.
Okay.
That was it.
Okay.
But yeah, so it's pork out there. Pig is king.
Okay.
And a lot of pork chops. And okay.
I was going to say,
And?
I'm sure
It's not I was
And?
not upset about that at all. Number 4 in Crete, our resort. This was the best one. It was amazing. It was the most expensive place I've ever stayed in my life. It was beautiful, all inclusive. We had an ocean view. It was stunning. It was really beautiful, really cool. So I really liked our resort, and I probably will, if I could stay there again, I would. I can't afford it. Like I said, there's no way, but it was really, really cool. Number 3 thing I learned and loved about Crete, again, like the Crete culture, just how it's all about welcoming and teaching you about what they have and what they're about and making you feel like part of the family. Everywhere we went, we did, one of the things we did to learn about Cretan culture and Crete living is we went to, and we're the Adventures by Disney is the only place that goes to this little town where we are greeted by the mayor, and he tells us about Crete and how like the economies of Crete and how it works and how, democracy kind of started there and working it out. And he's a character and a half. He is hilarious. He could tell a story and he loved telling a story. But we learned about, like he, in this postage stamp of a town. It's like 27 families or something like that.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
And he's the mayor. And we had lunch, and we had a little Yaya make us lunch, and she was also a Mary, so we celebrated name day with her and Maria, and it was just like, it was awesome. And like everybody, chocolate cake everywhere. It was so good. We
Did
learned
the
how
whole
to-
town come out for you guys?
No, but her and her son made us lunch.
Oh, okay.
In their house.
Wow.
We sat on their back porch.
Oh my goodness.
That's
Okay.
where we had lunch.
Amazing.
It was so cool. But we had the honey we had was from the bees that they cultivate
Okay.
in the little town. We made cheese there. So we learned about making goat cheese. It was just really cool, and it was neat to see that. The kind of the fun thing, we got pins every day at all of our stops, and we got extra pins that day because it's the 20 years of Adventures by Disney, and he gave us our 20-year pin. So
I love
Nice.
that.
it was really
Nice.
cool
I
to
love
see that.
that.
And he made a whole big story out of it. And like I said, he loved to tell a story. He was fun. But just learning about that and learning about the culture and the peoples and seeing it in action and how they were just amazing to us and just very lovely and sharing things. It was awesome. So that was cool. So Crete culture. Number 2 thing I liked about Crete was the island of Spinalonga. This is actually something you don't learn about, but it's very prominent. And this is the story that we were told by our guide is very much her wanting to share this. So it's kind of her brand with it. The island of Spinalonga is actually a former leper colony.
Oh, okay.
And it's right off of the coast of Crete. And it's housed in an ancient medieval fortress. And leprosy, you have all these connotations of what leprosy is. I mean, it's a Bible disease, and it's like, really seriously,
Right. Yeah.
and you don't, for the longest time, nobody knew how you got it. And it was just destructive, and you were dirty, and like all of these things that were associated with lepers, that you shunned them off. And that's what was happening. Interesting fun facts about leprosy is that, one, there's genetic immunity, and only 1% of the entire human population can get leprosy. So there's that.
Yeah.
And the vaccine and the cure for leprosy was discovered in 1956.
So about the same as polio then. Close
Yes.
to.
And when you
Yep.
think about that, that's like modern times.
Sure.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
you have,
Exactly.
you have germ theory going on in the 1800s, and you have all of this understanding of how germs are, like what it is to be ill with viruses and germs and bacteria.
Mhm.
But yet leprosy still has this negative thing. And it's actually a very shameful piece of Greek history. They don't talk about it. They don't teach about Spinalonga in the Greek schools. They don't really talk about it. But it's got a really important piece on understanding humans.
Mm.
In this space, all of these shunned folks, they created community. They had churches, they had businesses, they had government, they had a mayor.
I mean,
they
have
had
to.
they had organization, and that the families would come and they would see each other, but it was this standoffish thing because they didn't want to get infected. But then you'd have this other side of the story where this one lady took her husband's blood and injected it in herself, and she's like, I have leprosy now, so they wouldn't be separated.
Mm.
Right.
And not wanting to be
Right.
torn apart. Another lady was a stowaway, and she snuck herself in because she didn't want to be separated. None of them got leprosy. They had the genetic immunity, but nobody understood that. So the whole idea of this space and how the stigma of not knowing and the fear of something pushes you out to the fringes, but you don't really have any control over it.
Yeah.
That
Right.
whole idea and that story about it. But in 1956, the cure came. There's actually a book called The Island, and it was written about this whole story. And because of that, the book has created this, tourism
Mm-hmm.
for this island. Come to find out, Spinalonga was actually used as a decoy for Normandy and the Allies coming in and storming the beaches of Normandy in World War II. So Germans were looking at Greece as more than they were looking at France. So it became a
okay.
little bit of a decoy. So that was kind of interesting. And, like it's this leper colony that was going to be the space where all this came out of. And, so anyway, it was a very fascinating place. In 1956, the cure came. People got it, able to get off of it. However, the priest that was there, who did not have leprosy, had to stay 6 years after the last death, because in Greek Orthodox churches, you have to commemorate the spirit every 6 years, up to 6 years after the death. So after 6 years, then everything's good. But the priest had to stay there, by himself, on this island.
Wow, that's lonely. So
it was very cool. We got to go in the church. We got to go in some of the old ruins. Really cool cats there. But it was really, that was, I think, historically my favorite thing I learned about, because I did not know about it, never heard of it before.
Yeah.
Didn't know anything about it, and how it had such big prevalence on even today of how they feel about things.
Sure.
So that was very cool. Neat little island. We took a boat out to it. Really cool. All right. Number one thing in Crete that I loved was Knossos' castle.
Of course you did.
Carolina. I loved it. That was cool. That was a lot of things. It's one of the oldest known palaces.
Mm-hmm.
It's where the legend of the Minotaur was all put together.
Yep.
So if you read some Greek mythology, people.
That's right.
We didn't get to go down into the catacombs because it's a lot of restoration. It was stinking crowded. It was a national holiday. It was name day, so you have it off.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So it was just a lot of people, but we got to go up into the throne room. We got to go up into the balcony. They would do all sorts of the courtyard where we got to walk in and see everything. We got to see the balcony and look at that, where they would do a lot of the announcements and things, where the king and queen were. This is also the place where where they would do the bullfighting. And the way the Greeks did bullfighting is that they would actually do acrobatics over the back of the bull.
Right.
They would not kill the bull. The bull was meant to stay alive. And if he killed the person, you sucked at acrobatics.
Yeah. And that's on you.
That's on you.
Yeah. So
it was cool to see where that actually happened. The bull is actually the symbol of Crete and Knossos in particular. All of the frescoes, all of those frescoes you see in when you look up Greek frescoes, it's this one, the men and the women. Men are depicted as brown skinned. Women are depicted as white skinned, because the men were out in the fields, the women were not. Okay. So that's why there's different colors, but that's to show the tan and not the tan.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then this is also the one where the fresco, and we didn't get to see it, of the dolphins.
Oh,
okay. So that's where this palace is from, if you're familiar with all those Greek frescoes. But anyway, that was cool. I really enjoyed that a lot.
I expect
that was
so.
Cool. That was really neat to be part of that. So things about Crete that I was ish about. We stayed on the opposite side of the island where everything was, so we had to drive an hour into everywhere. It wasn't that horrible of a drive. We kept busy, but it was just we are driving an hour before we got anywhere. So that was kind of
yeah.
All right. So that's my top 10 of my 3 places, but I have some things that I just, kind of stand out that I wanted to point out. We got our 20th anniversary pins.
Right on.
I didn't realize I was traveling with the 20th anniversary of Adventures by Disney, but yay me.
There you are.
I loved it because all I had to do was show up.
Yeah, that's
that was. Yeah. I loved it so much for that reason, that I didn't have to worry about driving anywhere or planning my meals or figuring out what I was gonna do. It was done. And if you ever want to travel internationally and you're not well versed in doing any of that, look at travel packages, look at groups that go. I highly recommend them. It doesn't even have to be Adventures by Disney. However, they are brilliant at it. But just being able to show up was awesome. I had fun with my outfits, my Disney bounding outfits. I thought they were it was kind of made it fun for me. I wasn't out there with it. It was more colors. But then once my American guide understood what I was doing, he's like, every day was trying to guess who I was.
Oh,
And
cool.
so,
Oh, right
yeah,
on.
he's like,
Right on.
oh, I get it. You're pain and panic today. I'm like, yes, I am. And then, like the last day I was Hercules, he's like, oh, there's Hercules. I was waiting for that one. So, so that was fun. I had fun with that. That was kind of made my, it was fun for me. So that was cool.
Right on.
The food was insane.
I believe that.
Insanely good. Everything's fresh. They don't do a lot of preservative things. So they eat in season. So we were eating fruits and veg that were growing, being picked, put on our plate.
Right.
Nothing was hot house. Nothing was, and oh my gosh, the tomatoes were
Okay.
insane. It was so good.
Now I got to ask a question between you and Kris.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cherry tomatoes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I understand that cherry tomatoes were invented, quote unquote, in Israel,
Yes.
but made famous in Greece.
We ate a lot of them, but we also had regular sized tomatoes as well.
Right. But that was something that I noticed in editing your video.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
There was a lot of mention about the cherry tomatoes.
Yeah.
Especially when you got to Santorini.
Because that's one of their known products.
Right.
They grow them a lot.
Okay.
So
okay.
that's why.
Yeah. I'm just making sure here that I heard what I heard, and
I'm just.
I don't want to start nothing.
I know,
No.
right?
You know, I
and
don't
I'm
wanna
just
start nothing.
relaying
I don't
what
think
I
they-
was told when I was in
I don't
Israel.
think they claimed that they
Bred them.
modified them.
Yeah.
No, but
They
they
just
are more.
grow them.
Yeah, they are more famous for
Yeah,
them.
they grow them
In
there.
fact, I
And
think that was the quote:
holy-
is that they are famous.
They are candy. I could have eaten them by the bucket. They were so good.
So all y'all out there, I'm not starting nothing.
No.
Okay.
And tomatoes
So good.
grown in that volcanic soil.
Here's the other thing. I don't like capers. But the capers that they don't over brine them. So they actually
Tastes
taste
like something?
really good. It's not
Okay.
that super salty, bitter, like tart
Yeah, see,
thing.
that's what
It's
I don't-
So yummy.
That's why I don't like capers here.
Yeah.
You
I
know.
don't like them in America. I'll eat them in Greece.
Right.
They're really good.
Okay.
So the food was just if it was as amazing as you think it is, and I ate a lot of roasted meats, a lot of roasted chicken, a lot of roasted pork, some sausages, but I just ate a lot of pork and chicken, a lot.
Right on.
So,
Right on.
which is okay because that's pretty much my diet.
I was gonna say.
I know it was pretty much my diet, so I was like, great, awesome. The last thing that I thought I learned about, and Tom actually brought this to my attention, is something called mobile passport control. It's a way of expediting customs in the United States
Okay.
without having global entry.
Oh.
So it's an app. You fill out the form. You basically fill out the form before you get there, and then once you're landed, the app will ping. And if it's one of the airports that's part of mobile passport control, you can skip the lines.
Oh
Beautiful.
my goodness.
So this
Beautiful.
was very helpful because when we were leaving Athens to come back here, our flight got delayed because of a mechanical issue. And the pilots were amazing explaining why we were delayed. So in order to fly over the Atlantic Ocean, you actually basically have to have an assigned time to do that. You just can't go. Because international travel, they monitor who's over those international waters, and you have to make sure you know who you are and where you're supposed to be at what time.
Exactly.
Makes
with
sense.
our delay, we lost our slot. So they
you had
were
to wait.
trying to find us another slot so we could take off and be regulated and okay, but that delayed us an hour.
Mm-hmm.
I had such a tight connection from when we landed in Charlotte to get my Denver that I was on my phone in the plane, and my app was telling me rebook your flight
Oh wow.
because of the delay.
Oh.
Yeah. So I had rebooked my flight on the plane because I was gonna miss my connection. So I did that, and then because I rebooked my flight, I had to go get another boarding pass.
Mm-hmm.
So Tom went, and in Charlotte, it's great when you go through customs, especially if you have mobile passport control. You just go through. You grab your bag, you drop it off. They put it on your domestic plane, and off you go.
Beauty.
It's easy like that. But I had to divert over, and but the gate agent, she's like, "You have 45 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
I can get you on this flight." Which was my original flight.
Oh.
I had rebooked to a 9:30 departure out of Charlotte to come back to Colorado. But she's like, I said, well, I rebooked. She's like, no, I'm putting you back on this plane. And she's like, let me get you a seat. You go get your bag. We're going to put it. And so I ran and got my bag, and I went into, and she's screaming at the guy saying, we're going to get her on this plane. And so they worked, and she's like, you got 45 minutes. She's like, you can make it. She's like, it's not a far gate. She's like, are you good? And I'm like, I'm good. And I'm like dead dog tired because I had decided to try and reacclimate. So I stayed up to get back to domestic time. And so I slept a little bit on the front end of things and tried to do that when it was dark here. Mm-hmm. And then, so I was awake most of the flight.
Okay.
So I was tired.
So here's the question then, because I know how it works at DIA. You had to go through customs in Charlotte, right?
Uh-huh.
So you come back through customs, then you had to go get your boarding pass?
So what I had done...
Because you would have to go back through TSA to get to the gate.
No. Yeah, but I did.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, no, I did. That was the thing, is like I had to like get going, and TSA was right there.
Okay.
So I didn't have to like go very far. The cool thing about Charlotte Airport is everything's, like I said, on spoken wheel.
Yeah.
So even the international terminal gets you to the space where you can just go.
Right.
Oh, nice.
So
yeah, DIA don't work that way.
Yeah, it was pretty easy that way.
Because if you had 45 minutes, you would need to rebook at DIA.
Yeah. So I got through everything. I got my new boarding pass. I dropped my bag off. I was like, bye, Tom. And he's like, see ya. And like, we didn't even have a really proper goodbye. And I'm taken off, and I get through security. And I get to the gate, and she rebooked me to an exit row. So I had all of this room.
Yeah,
I had all of this room.
Yeah.
And then I put my bag under like the seat in front of me, which was like very far away, but still. And I sat down with 30 minutes to spare.
Well,
wow.
then.
Nice.
I was like, so I texted Tom, and I'm like, I'm on the plane. I got on, thanks for a great trip, but I didn't think I was going to get on my original flight.
Right.
I'm very grateful I did, because I was so tired, but
yeah,
man, it was like, that was so. Long story short,
and to make a long story short,
mobile passport control is well worth it.
Okay.
Especially if you don't have global entry. It works just like that, and it helped out so much.
Beautiful.
I will talk to you offline about that.
We'll do that. So it was great. But all in all, I loved it. It was everything I wanted it to be, plus all these other things, because I really walked in with no expectations. I was like, come on, let me experience it. And it was my bucket list trip of a lifetime, and it was everything. And I'm just so grateful.
I'm glad you had such a great experience.
I had a good time. So it was a lot of fun.
Oh.
So that was Greece, everybody.
Yay.
Well, there we are.
Thank you for sharing all of that with us.
Yeah. I know that was a lot. I know that these don't get a lot of views, but at least I was able to break them.
Yeah, no, they don't. But the amount of information that you provided here.
Oh, it was amazing. Very good. Yeah.
Wow.
Loved it.
Okay. I'm still so jealous of you.
Oh, I know.
I'm still so jealous. Because Greece is on my bucket list. Okay. That even me being an amputee now, Greece is on my bucket list. And watching some of the video that I've edited so far with what you've done, I'm a little worried about the marble.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm a little worried about it.
You have to be very, very aware.
But what I saw looks manageable.
Acropolis would be challenging for you.
Sure, because it's a lot of up.
And teeny tiny steps.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like I was going up sideways.
Yeah, see, and I would need a handrail or something.
And there aren't any.
Yes. Okay.
That's what I mean. Like,
I would train for it. I'd have to train for it.
Or hold on to someone. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. But, I'm...
And I would love to go as a tourist and not on business where I have evenings and an extra day to squeak in a couple of things.
Well, I'm jealous of you too. Istanbul
was amazing.
and Jerusalem and
I didn't go to Jerusalem. I went to Tel Aviv.
Tel Aviv,
and
but still
Caesarea. Yeah.
Caesarea, but yeah.
Caesarea. Yeah.
Tomato.
There are over 190,000 Greek words in the English dictionary.
I know. Well, I didn't know how many, but yeah.
Now you
knew
can watch
there's a lot.
So that was one of our things we learned.
Yeah.
Cool. I like it.
But yeah, I need to get to the Mediterranean.
Yes.
I think that's just it. I need to get to the Mediterranean. You know?
Now we know somebody who lives in Italy too.
Well, there we go. There we go.
Tuscany, but yeah.
Yeah, Tuscany.
Of course.
But yeah, I know we talked to them this last weekend.
We did.
So one of the things everybody's been asking is like, where next? And is it going to be Adventures by Disney? And the answer is yes. I would love to do with other ABD. I'm hooked, and they said we would be. I'm going to go on the African safari.
There it is.
There you go.
Not anytime soon. These are expensive trips.
Well,
they're.
Could you drop some coin with this?
A lot.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna save my dollars and get myself ready to go. And my new passport has Greece as the first stamps in it. So
nice.
There you go.
The next ones will probably be Africa.
My new passport has nothing in it right now.
Yeah.
I haven't gone anywhere yet.
So anyway, it was awesome and I loved it and I can't wait to do other things.
Oh.
Yay. I'm so glad you got to go.
Thank you very much for sharing with us. Thank you for letting us dive into your top 10 because I love top 10. That's so much fun.
It was a good format.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it for this week. In 2 weeks, I have no idea what we're going to do, but
we'll see.
By gosh, we're going to go straight forward, rush into it. What?
I had my idea of top 10 characters. Disney characters.
10 Disney characters.
Yeah. So I know we did movies, but we all have our favorite characters. Doesn't necessarily come out of our favorite movies. So I thought it would be a different perspective for all of us.
Then that's next. That's in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Top 10 favorite Disney characters.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. And I'm not going to put any type of stipulation on it. It can be Pixar or Disney. I don't care.
Oh, that opens things up.
Yeah, it does. Anyway, in 2 weeks, we'll be doing the top 10 Disney characters. Follow us on YouTube. Please hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. Follow us on Spotify as well.
Yeah.
I'll be having my Grease videos up soon too, so you can check those out.
Her channel. Yes.
Yep, and at the end card of this video is the little icon to subscribe to Alice or go visit her channel. It'll be right there.
Sweet.
Anyway, thank you very much for joining us, and we will see you guys in 2 weeks.
Bye.